these are big numbers for the smaller municipalities, so I can appreciate their concern. You know, one thing that we discussed was the fact that, especially I know we mentioned how the city of Troop police assist the sheriff's department many times on calls out in the county, just in terms of an interlocal agreement that for providing that service, it seems that it would be the right thing to do for us to assist them in this area if we could. And I know that probably happens in those other areas as well.
Well, and I got the distinct impression that they were way back when, Commissioner Hampton, I got the impression from that point till now, they had, I just don't think they had their arms around the impact of this to themselves as far as actually how much money was being talked about. So they, you know, they got the bill and had a little bit of sticker shock, I think, for lack of a better term, and that's where we were the other day at the meeting. Was not so much they were upset at the concept as they were the amount of money they were suddenly faced with having to come up with.
So, anyone have any suggestions or proposals?
Well, I'll leave it to you three because it's, you know, basically out in the rural areas and most of mine is very popular. So I'll agree to go along with one of you, but I just don't think we should do it for 4 years.
Well, what you all discussed with them last week when they were present, was it based on a 4-year plan?
No, we didn't specifically talk numbers. We told them that we could possibly break it up into 3 years or 4. You know, they wanted us to push for the 4.
Yeah, they wanted more than that, but I wouldn't have a problem with 3 years. But we did make it crystal clear that this was something that had to be done. The counties obviously can't continue to pay this as far as their dispatch. I was willing to give a little bit on it because I am aware of TrueNet, others, and Willard's another one, where there's oftentimes where they go out and answer a call from the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department, the call is resolved before the sheriff's department ever gets there. That happens more often than you would think, both on Troop and also I know Willard, you know, so much as ARP, I'm not sure. So that kind of lessened my dislike of it a little bit. But 3 years, I'd be willing to stretch it out over a 3-year period.
I can certainly support that as well.
I concur, Joe.
Does anyone have a number of that? How much to add yet, or is that still to come?
Yeah,
They do their own dispatch.
I think White House does too. So White House does their own dispatch. That's why they're not there. It was a fairly long and spirited meeting, to put it mildly, but but I think they understand where our position is and why, Commissioner. Exactly. I mean, we went over that at length.
Well, it's kind of like the same thing we did when you took this council of governments, you know, the cities need to be responsible for them.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And I'm assuming we don't even include Noonday in this at all, Bobby. They aren't. What was the situation in Noonday?
Right now, they don't have
They don't do any dispatch at all.
If they did contract out like they were talking about, they would be crew.
Oh, so they need to contract out that constable's office like they were talking about?
Yes, they did not contract.
Bear with me.
No pressure.
So, this breakdown, Bobby, shows $69,311.38. I just can exclude noonday from that calculation at all.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's correct.
So, we need to just take them out.
But, you know, earlier I was looking at different things in the Smith County Appraisal District. There was one, I just pulled up a person that lived there in Truth. And in Smith County, we make about between $35 and $40 in tax collection of them. In the city of Truth, makes $142. But we're gonna pay for their dispatch. 3/4
I'm sorry, Bobby, I was doing high math.
You're beyond me, Judge. I'm not gonna question you.
By my calculations, we should add $41,749.74 back into the proposed budget.
41,749.
41,749.74.
750.
Okay. And I made it clear this would be, if the court agreed, this would be a phased approach and the complaints should cease.
Judge, like I said, we are trying to get 911 to help out on this, so we might not have to end up paying it all at the end of the year. So we hadn't voted on our budget yet.
You're volunteering for 911 to pay for it?
I said we are working on it, we hadn't voted on the budget yet.
You can make that motion in your budget, make it right.
And
I will fight for it.
911 did discuss that at their board meeting the other day. I attended. It was high on the priority list as far as helping out with this and getting it taken care of.
I think Commissioner Bennett said a valid point, just so we would have the record, Commissioner Bennett.
As I said earlier, I was just looking at different things and pulled up just an account down there in Truth where Smith County makes $34.99 is our taxes that comes to Smith County in this account. In the city of Truth, it's $142.03 off the same account.
Well, Commissioner, since they did make some calls for us,
Man, they all do. Lindell does, Winona does, White House does. They all back our people up.
well, that helps cover where we don't have patrols where we need some patrols. So are you saying 3 years is excessive? or-
No, I think 3 years is fine.
Okay.
I just thought it was ironic that they actually get more taxes than we do, but we're having to pay the bill.
Okay, before we move on, I just made a note, and since Constable Jackson brought it up, as far as the gas allowance for constables, is that something the court wants to address?
Well, they're all different, Judge.
He's actually talking about deputy constables.
Yeah, his deputy constable, he's talking about, and I'm supposed to have to really explain this.
They are kind of different. He just left, but what Constable Jackson was talking about, he has 2 full-time deputy constables. And each of those full-time deputy constables stand to receive, which is what he asked for originally, $2,000 in travel allowance. Now, they drive their own vehicles. So, you know, I think he has a valid point that might not be sufficient, but you might want to consider, rather than giving these deputy constables travel allowances, which is just in addition to their salary, we may want to take this out of the salary portion and put that into travel reimbursements. And that actually requires that they fill